Oh goodness. Oh Lord. Oh. Maybe this one? Okay, okay. I think I got it. Okay. Everybody that's here, thank you. And sorry, excuse my first YouTube stream. It's not too great. It's I don't know what's going on in there. Anyways, now we can get back to what we were trying to do. Okay. I think I got it. Okay. Everybody that's here, thank you. I should mute that because that's gonna. And then I'm hoping if I play this, that should come through a little bit too loud. Okay, but I'm gonna pause that. So hopefully everything works now. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, perfect. So as I was trying to say 3 times now with the microphone off is, I want these streams just to be super chill, and I'm gonna be working on some stuff whenever I can, just because it's a great excuse to work on my own stuff that I just want to, just like passion projects. So that's what this is, and I've done a tiny bit of work to it, but I get too busy. So this is like the only bit I've done to it, is just creating the vinyl spin and the inner piece, and then I still have this whole thing to make. And then if you guys have anything that you want feedback on, or you just want to show how good you are, if you want to brag a little bit, or if you have like a specific something that you want broken down like super quick, I'm willing to do that. You guys can send it to the pinned message where I have an email that I set up. And yeah. But yes, thank you to all of you. Toby, what's up? Daniel, hello. And Kuba, thank you very much for being the first one to tell me that my it was not working. So I appreciate that. Anyways, I want to start off with this first one here. So just, I don't know if I don't know if he's here. If he is, was good. But I want to look at this. He also sent feedback. So he's trying to do a Magnets media style. So I'm just gonna watch that through super quick, and then we can have a look at it and see what we think. And I just want to I just want to clarify that I'm going to try to be nice, but also very honest. So yeah, so don't be offended by anything. There's always room for improvement for everyone. So just want to clarify that, so I'm not coming off as mean. Okay. Okay, so that was a quick 50 seconds, nothing crazy. So overall, I think it's pretty good. There's a lot of good movement in there, nothing too boring. I'd say my main pointers is the quality of yeah, hold on, my bad. How loud?
Charles Ponzi was born in Italy on March
Like this loud?
1982. His father was a
This, I mean, this audio is not too important, but I just want to make sure that's not too loud compared to my voice, but that it's still, both are still legible. Anyways, for this one, as I said, there's a lot of good movement. Like this sequence right here is pretty good. I think my main point would be to be more selectful in when you pick whatever assets you're working with, and that just goes in general. It's very, very important to select high quality assets. Also, something like this right here, you see, it kind of just looks a bit weird and flat the way it's set up. You have realistic pictures and then super cartoony. So I just, something, I want to match the style, and especially, I think this might be the worst scene, just because the pyramid cutouts are horrible. I highly recommend when you cut something out that you use the pen tool or use the lasso tool, whatever you want, but just these feathered edges here don't look very great, and they all look like the same pyramid, just a hue shift or contrast, whatever. So I would just work on that a little bit, and then working on making some more realistic scenes. And then this guy is, I don't know what's going on here. And like this cutout, there's just some most of the cutouts is pretty bad. And then just the mixing of styles. Ideally, you want to stick it to one style. So if you want to do all the characters super cartoony, like, where is he at? Like this guy, super smooth skinned, then do it throughout everything. And then just pick higher quality assets. It's super easy. If you go to Google and you type man, and then you go to images and tools, and then just go size, and then just go large, and then just pick whatever you want. So like this one right here is 1.2K by 1.5K, which is pretty good. And then trying to work with higher quality assets, I'd say. And then also, I do not like these particles that are everywhere. It's way too much. And the same with the background stuff. It looks very pixelated, which just takes away from the quality of it all. So that's another thing. Like, I hate, like, if I have to work with a logo, I always make sure that I work with like an Illustrator file or something, a vector file, because as soon as anything goes super pixelated when you don't want it to be, it starts degrading the look of it. So, Hardeep, if you are here right now, you're on a great path. There's just a couple little technical details. Like, this animation was clean. It's just this selection of assets could have been better. And then I don't like this fake Dutch angle at all. I don't like it. I know I've seen Ali Abdaal using some of his shorts. I'm not a fan of it. It looks weird. And then this video is coming out next week, so keep an eye on that. But fonts choosing the right font makes such a huge difference on how your end product looks. And this font, for example, doesn't look very nice, so it degrades the overall look of the end product. So picking better fonts, and even like if you go to Google Fonts, I mean, there's so many good fonts. Let's say you want a serif font like he was using. You just go in, deselect all of these, and you have, let's say, what's some of this text that's here? Instead of studying, and then just pick something that look like something like this would have been cleaner. And then I don't like the drop shadow. You can ask anyone that knows me personally. I hate drop shadows 9 out of 10 times. But yeah, so just pick better fonts, and I'll have a video about it coming out next week, so don't worry, I'm there. This one, insane. And is it variable? I don't know, but it is a super nice looking font. Has some nice little details in the S's and the C's. Not the C's, what was I talking about? But yeah, some nice details. Yeah, Kuba, I recognize your photo. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I don't do one-on-one consultations. Just it's not real. I don't feel like, I'm at a stage where I can kind of do that. I'd love to share what I learn as I go, because I'm still not the best. Everyone is always trying to improve, and I just want to make sure that I get as good as I can, and just offer knowledge for free as of right now anyways. Just kind of all of us learning together and getting better and giving each other feedback and improving type thing. But yeah, I'm working on a video of that Iman Ghazi guy. So I'm working on a video about that. I'm looking for some clips that I'm going to be breaking down and whatnot. And yeah, so that is coming at some point. I'm just trying to get a good collection and a good idea of his style, etc. Nassim, you want to... What's up, by the way? I hope you're doing great. I hope all of you are doing great. You said Dodford. Dodford? I've heard about him before. I don't know if all... Oh, he's the one that did this video. Okay, so I've seen the thumbnail for this. By the way, this thumbnail is probably one of the best thumbnails I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's see here. I'm not going to be watching the whole video, but I will have a look at... Maybe just the intro sequence will work. If it'll play, of course. That's the big question.
I just want to do whatever I want. I don't want people to second guess me.
Please welcome Donald Glover. Donald Glover.
So far, okay, here we go. Maybe that looks like some more.
Glover's stand up. Refusing to box himself in.
Alright, so this is barely motion graphics. It's just, this is just a post-process time, just literally just position of the image and post-process time. This is just overlays.
Tempting all dilute the experience. Quite the opposite. November.
Okay.
Glover's 1 hour experience.
One thing I'll say about this so far is that the textures are subtle, but they're there. You have some scan lines, interlacing lines. Look, this one's pretty basic. It's just a fade and then just a mask around the text, and then in the background you have some half-tone pattern. This is an overlay text, and again you get some of that half-tone texture in the back.
1 hour stand-up special drops on Comedy Central to high praise.
So I'd say most of this is pretty basic, like editing, not so much motion design. I've done it. I have a video with this effect. You know, this is probably one of the simplest things, like a highlight text effect. It's a stroke. You change the blending mode to multiply if you're on a white text, and you just animate the trim paths. So a lot of basic, but they're just put together really well, and that's one of the things I'm trying to get through in a lot of my videos. But yeah. But yeah, I guess I might have to look at some of his videos. Thank you so much for the recommendation, Asim. Yeah, Toby, thumbnails are very hard. And I've made a lot of iterations of thumbnails, and it doesn't get any easier. I think my biggest struggle is doing like the text layout for like getting the right text and having it the right sizes and like that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, I don't even really understand I'm just trying to make like good design when it comes to thumbnails anyways. Like, I just try to do big old text and just hope it works. Like, I think for this one, I had like 6 iterations where the position of the camera down here was like slightly different, or the positioning of the text was just a little bit lower. This one, initially, the O's was just one long O that kind of read like box. But yeah, it's a lot of iterations and just messing around. And I've also started doing a lot of it in After Effects as well, because I can add the glows and all that stuff. But yeah, I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that you guys are liking my thumbnails, because it's hard, and I question every single one of them. So it's good to know. Like this one, for example, this one right here was hard to get right. How deep? I did actually. I already did. So if you scroll back, like I think 5 or 10 minutes, I broke it down. But I can repeat my my main criticisms again if you want. I'll open it up here. So as I said before, you can go back and look at more in depth, but essentially my main things for you to focus on is picking better assets and spending more time on the cutouts. Like this pyramid, for example, you can see the edge is kind of feathered and very jaggedy. So I would use the pen tool, for example, to get a straighter, cleaner line, which would just look better. And then just working on some of that composition. And then also, I'm not a fan of the particles. They're too much. There's just too many particles. And then fonts, and then picking assets of high quality. So like I was saying, like if you go to Google and you Google man, for example, and then you go into tools and then go to size and then only do large. And they some pictures that are high quality, like this is 2K by 1.3K. This one, which is 1.2 by 1.5K. And then keeping the style the same. So you have some of these things that look very cartoony, and then photos that look very photo-y. And the same with like the skin smoothing. So just picking assets that are like keeping the style consistent. But hopefully that helps, Hadi. If not, you just ask more questions. The sound, yeah, personally, I think the sound design one is my favorite of mine that I made, just because it's, hold on, I don't want to leak anything, so I'm just give me 1 second, I'll pull it up, so you guys can see the Photoshop file for it. I don't want to show anyone's project, if I can find it, that is. Okay, so, and switch back here. Okay, so this is the Photoshop project for the sound design one, and I think the reason why it's one of my favorite is because this is a picture that I took outside. So this is the original picture, and it's fairly high quality. You know, took it with my camera. It's actually a video and then a frame grab from the video. So this is the original picture, and I wanted it to be kind of like, I didn't even realize that I wanted to use it, but it looked super good in combination with everything else. So if I do one by one, I added just a little bit. I just took the exposure of the top down a little bit so it wasn't too confusing. I added this little sound thing, which I wasn't too sure if I liked it, but it worked out fine to kind of transmit or like communicate the idea of like the sound waves. Then I added just a brush and I stroked it a little bit just for some exposure, a texture, shout out Texture Labs, and then I just added text. And I knew when you look at the thumbnail, I knew the only thing you'd really be able to read would be that everyone needs sound design. So that was like my main thing that I wanted to be legible. And then I just added little things for design purposes that don't really make much sense, but it looked cool. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try and pronounce your name. I'm not sure if I pronounce any of your guys' names wrong. You just have to let me know. But Monte, the way I got into it anyways was, I started out with just graphic design, so that's my background. Yeah, so graphic design is how I started. It's how, I just messing around doing, like, I think I was 13, 14-ish when I started doing graphic design. I would just follow random tutorials on YouTube and just creating random stuff. And then I later got into motion design because I started out by watching Nick Merckx, and then I streamed myself as well as Fortnite, and then I wanted some overlays, so I just made my own. And then I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. I want to make animated overlays. And then I started doing that, which was horrible. The first ones sucked horribly. And then I just kind of progressively got better. I just, there's not really any specific videos, or I've never taken a course. It's just kind of picking up as you go and kind of seeing, okay, this looks good, this doesn't look good. Like, I think that's the main thing with design in general, is being able to train your eye. So just, because I've done creative stuff for so long, you just kind of get used to it. But yeah, just having an eye for creative stuff, really, just being like, okay, this looks good. Or like if you want to animate a bouncing ball, you can see, okay, how do I squash and stretch? And then I don't necessarily go out and look for a tutorial for it. I see an example and then I try to recreate it myself. So that's why a lot of my tutorials are maybe a bit harder to follow, because I don't go super in depth with it. I want it to be kind of like, okay, this is how you do some of the basic principles, and you can use that to apply to different stuff. So like let's look at the Vox animation thing here. Like something like the turbulent displace and adding that extra bit of texture, or at the trim paths, like you can use that in a lot of different scenarios. Or even this one right here where I did the focus shift, which we later, like the 3D camera and then the focus shift, which I later used in the Magnets Media one. So it's just about learning how to do certain stuff and combining it in different scenarios, if that makes sense. Exactly, Daniel. That's why I think me starting out with graphic design and photo and video helped me in motion design, because I developed an eye for good design. So I could see, okay, this looks cool, this looks good. And that's sometimes the hardest part of it, because you can be stuck in a design and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing or whatever. And then if you can't look back at it and be like, okay, this is way too complicated, then, so it's just about getting used to that process. Oh, Monte, skymography? This guy? By the way, if you guys need to learn anything, you guys should really be watching this guy, because he is good. But yeah, he's a friend of mine. I help with that thumbnail. So, but yeah, especially his texture one, I'd highly recommend watching this one. That's I watched it, and then that's the technique I use now. But yeah, super good way of animating textures, and then you can animate whatever you want. Yeah, I mean, I think we all struggle with that, Monte, as well. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. It's just, that's just how the process is. There's not much you can do about it. You know what I mean? Like it's just you just gotta make stuff, and then eventually you'll get to something you like. And another thing that I keep telling myself as well, especially when I work with client projects, is sometimes for me, I'd want to keep working on something until I'm perfectly satisfied. But I also got to remember that the client is paying, and I don't want to waste their time. And if I can get it very good, then it's good enough for their purpose, and I'm still confident in what I'm delivering, then that's fine. Like most times done is better than perfect. So your keyframe might be just slightly off, but the fact that you have a full animation and you are on a time crunch, you just gotta hand it in and call it a day, and then you can be like, okay, next time I know, bada bing, bada boom. You've known him for 10 years, geez, yeah. I haven't known him for that long, but I'm pretty good friends with him, yeah. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Daniel, I'll peep. Hardeep, I hope the feedback was good or like useful. Let me just switch this so I don't leak all my regular emails. That'd be bad. Okay. Okay. I'll have a look, Daniel. I hope you're comfortable with everyone. I already liked the texture in the beginning. I can tell you, I like the texture in the beginning. So good beginning. Very, very good with this. Yeah, Toby, Sky's just, he's just a wizard. There's really nothing. He's just amazing. So, first of all, just starting out, good first impression on the first frame. That's always a good way to start. The texture is really nice. You have some blur around the edges, and then the color palette is very retro, and the style is cohesive. So, let's watch.
Lest I stumble, never sold a jumbo or cop chicken wings with mumbo. mumbo sauce. Tyson is a foul holocaust. Hitler gas your whole head up with poetry. I'm fed up. Ignore.
Hold up, this is fire. Did you make these illustrations? I gotta run that back. That's fire.
I strive to be humble, lest I stumble. Never sold a jumbo or come chicken wings with mumbo sauce.
That's good.
Tyson is a foul holocaust.
I love this text animation right here. The little morph, like is that just a Softbox blur and levels?
Hitler gas your whole head.
If Sky saw this, he would love the chromatic aberration. He's a huge fan of this. I just wanna.
Ignore cordon bleu. Stand up, get up, lunge for your knife. Don't forget your pot holders.
That's fire. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, that's fire. 100%. I don't even know what I give feedback. I'm just this is awesome. If anything, I would just fill out the blur a little bit more, just because it looks kind of like a little bit too short. Like it gets too blurred too quick. And then maybe some contrast issues with the green. Just it's a little bit hard to read.
Tyson is a foul holocaust. Hitler gas your whole head up with poetry. I'm fed up. Ignore cordon bleu. Stand up, get up, lunge for your knife. Don't forget your pot holders.
Nah, but that's fire. That's see, I'd maybe the other green text. I'd do it like this, where you have that beige extrusion, just because this is very hard to read. But that's super dope. This is so dope.
I strive to be humble, lest I stumble. Never sold a jumbo or come chicken wings with mumbo sauce.
This is fire too. That transition right there is fire too.
Hitler gas your whole head up with poetry. I'm fed up.
I don't know what this is. I'm still confused what this is. I think those are the only things. I love the texture in this. I love this and the chromatic aberration is dope too. You might want to do it all throughout because it's only in some parts, but otherwise, I mean, it's super clean. The color palette is so sick. I love this color palette. So yeah, that's fire. Is this like I'm guessing this is an ad. Oh yeah, that's fire. And see, this is a good font. This is a very good font. This is dope. If you don't mind sharing, so is this like one canvas, then you used a 3D camera to just pan around, or what was the process behind this? Yeah, I mean, Monte, that's, everyone, especially with creative people, we all have this. Like, there's going to be times where it's just not clicking, and that's when you just got to switch it up, try something different, do something different. Don't design for a minute, just go outside if the weather's nice, or drink a couple brewskis if that's what you're into. You just got to do different stuff. One thing I really enjoy, I used to love playing games. Now I read books more. And that can just give you some different ideas. You know what I mean? Like, it's just about switching your sources of inspiration and then just trying out different stuff. Oh, I see. Okay, I thought it was like beer, like because it looked like fizzy. But yeah, that's fine. That's sick, man. That's sick. Whoever is this, I don't know if this is for like an actual real company, if Pot Holders is an actual company, but if it is, you definitely should send it to them, or make a Pot Holders company and send it to them, because this is insane. Might be some issues with the song, just because it might be copyrighted, but yeah, okay, yeah, I figured that's what that's why I did for this one as well. Oh, not that one. This one as well. I figured, because it felt kind of like I just did like one big canvas and then the camera just panning around. But yeah, that's awesome. That's such a good technique. As long as if you have like a big texture as well, like Texture Labs, all the textures like super high quality, so there's plenty of room to do that. But yeah, that's fire. Don't even. That's sick, man. That's sick. Good looks. Thinking, what am I doing here? Okay. Let's see if we can get going with this for a little bit. So, as I was saying, I worked a little bit. I was mainly just experimenting, just with this, just getting the vinyls to look like it's spinning. You don't want the highlight to spin because that's unrealistic. You just want the texture to spin, if that makes sense. So I worked on that, and I want to add a little bit of distressing and wobble to it too. But essentially, I have this track that I cut up. It is one song that I just cut up and meshed a little bit. So that's the music bit I'm working with. Now, I don't know where to start, so... yeah, so that's a good thing. Anyways, I think I want to finish working on this, just getting the look down. I'm not sure I like that it's so, like, perfectly, you know, because it is just, I mean, Illustrator file, so I just want to kind of like distress this a little bit. So I think that's where I'm gonna start anyways. Yeah, and I mean, Daniel, that makes perfect sense, because that's how it, I think that's how it'll work as well in, like, you know, in photography. If you go macro, there's gonna be more, it's gonna be bigger depth of field and more chromatic aberration. But I mean, overall, it's a sick piece. It's a sick piece. You smashed it. So there's not even nothing there. That was just fire. Anyways, I guess we can go through the process of what it looks like finding textures. I have a folder with a bunch of them, but I'm not going to go through all my folders just because I don't want to leak nothing, so I'm just going to use Texture Lab. Monte, that is personal preference. I use a Mac because I like the Apple interface. AM, yes, this will be put in a playlist of live streams, so you can always rewatch it later at any point. So yeah, it'll always be available because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out of this, good tips, good conversations. So yes, it will be available. But anyways, PC, Mac, it just depends on whatever you prefer. I like Mac. I've always been a Mac person, and this would have been nice to have when I started my project, because that would be great. Anyways, we have a texture now. It's fine. We have a vinyl. But yeah, so it's just personal preference. I like Apple just because I'm just used to it. So like it works for me. Especially because like in Photoshop, at least I used to have a gaming computer, and when I would copy a transparent image on Google and paste it into Photoshop, it would paste with a black background, which I despised. So yeah, I just wasn't a fan of that. Now, I really should have thought about doing how I was going to do this, because how am I going to open up my downloads and files without anyone seeing? That is a good question. And this might be perfect for something. And get that one as well. Layering textures is the key. Okay, so I'm going to hop into OBS, and I'm just going to switch this real quick and drag and drop my textures just so I don't spoil anyone's work, because that'd be horrible. And I just need one more. That'll do. I'm sorry for teasing you. I just don't want to ruin anyone's projects. You know what I mean? Okay, so I just dragged in my textures real quick, and actually all of these two can go in this one, or yeah, yep. Okay, boom. So this texture right here, let's do one at a time. Scale that up to cover the whole thing, and then position, scale, rotation, and shout out my boy, keyframe all of these. Just gonna go for like 12 frames or something. Boom, and then just rotate it, scale it up, move it around. another little bit. Scale it down, maybe just a little bit, you know what I mean? Just a little bit. Scale it down a little bit more. Boom. And again, another 12 frames. And rotate it and scale it up. That'll be fine. Select all of them, right click, toggle whole keyframe, and then we are just going to do a loop out. And right click, copy expression, and paste. Oh, sorry. Paste. And we have an animated texture, so that's great. And I'm just going to move that over there. And the question is all of this, if I scale this up to match that, and then if I just but no, that'll be fine. That'll be a-okay, broskies. Okay. Hot tip, if you got, I think I've mentioned this before, but you can hold shift and then a minus and plus button to scroll through blending modes in After Effects. So that's the trick I usually use when I want to do that. I think this one. And let's do... Let's do a multiply, add a curves. Why did I not add a curves to it? Okay. What's up, Momo? Yeah, Daniel, I've heard of it, but I can't be bothered to pay $10 for it. I'm sure it's super good. If you guys want it, it's Texture Looper, I think, by Jake in Motion. His channel is great for an overview of textures, but yeah, I saw he did one, and I'm sure it works completely awesome. But I can't be bothered to pay for it. But if he's watching along, feel free to sponsor me and give it to me for free. But yeah, so, and I just like doing it this way. I'm so used to it. It doesn't make any difference for me, really. And we have some contrast issues. The question is, which texture is it that is giving me the contrast? It's this one. We're going to give a curves to you, and maybe decrease the opacity of them. Just a little bit. That'll do. How we doing, Momo? Okay, so now I'm just gonna unhide that. So now we have listing, which is sweet. And now I want this. Let's decrease the opacity of these two to 30 so I can see what I'm doing. I want to line up the textures of the edge. Oh shoot, that's not the scale. So line that up. And why is that not like centered like at all? I hope it's not a me thing and my thing hasn't been centered this whole time. Okay, that one is spot on. And scale you down, down. Scale down a little bit more. Boom. Maybe like that. Yeah, that'll do. And we can drag these down below and middle matte. Okay. Momo will see. The thing is, Twitch is well, a shithole. And I just like, I do YouTube videos about animation anyways. and like different stuff. So it just made more sense to just watch or just stream on Twitch. You know, there's people here who actually care about the animation content, and I just feel like Twitch is more like gaming centered. So I was like, yeah. The cats are doing great. One threw up on the floor yesterday, so other than that, it's great. But yeah, they're doing fantastic. Can I just rotate this? Boom. Okay. Let's see what we're working with here. I don't know if you can see. You can't see that at all. But one is sleeping over there. I don't know why I'm replaying this in full. I really don't need to. I just do half. Save us some time. Okay, not bad, not bad. Very subtle, which is good. Okay. This is good so far. This is good. So now we have... This cat better go eat. There we go. Perfect. You guys will probably see him. Oh, if you guys notice, he would be right there crawling. Okay, back to this. So we have that. Now let's look back at our mood board. How we want to start it. Okay, I really don't know, because I wanted this to loop into that, and I'm not quite sure. I know I wanted, like, this is going to be like the last scene, and then zoom in, so this fills up the screen, and then it loops back to this, which is interesting. So maybe I should start with... let's maybe do this. Take all of this. Shout out Overlord. Send it all in here. Boom. Extract it all. And pre-comp. Scene 1. And let's do scene... don't actually need this, so maybe just this. And do scene 2. And line that up with that. Boom. And then scene 3, we need just these. And send that in. And extract those and call it scene 3. And oh, to those of you guys that are in here, do you guys, when you guys, like, let's say if you guys do a piece with a sound to it, do you guys also watch something at the same time? Or like how do you guys go about doing that? Because I can't, like, if I do something that doesn't have any sound at all, I can definitely listen to stuff. But then, if there is sound, I just can't do, I want to, but I just can't. Scene 4. Boom. And then, let's, scene 5. Well, we already have that in here. So, we already have that right there, kind of. Which we'll do. Okay. Okay, so the problem with me waiting months to do this is I completely forgot like my main idea. Like, I better get the shapes in here, man. I better get the shapes in there. So vinyl metal is the one I want in. Put that in there. And then maybe scale them down. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Let me, boom. Solo this. If I scale it all the way up, what does that look like? Okay, that does not work at all. Scale it down. And then we will I don't know why I made duplicates of it in here, but I don't know why I didn't just use Reptile. So I guess I could. Momo, this is just like a for fun piece that I just wanted to do just because yeah, I had it planned out for so long and I just never got time to do it. So that's what we're making today. Okay. Now I probably need to go in here. I mean, that shouldn't change anything really. But now I should be able to add Reptile. And not that one. Not that one either. Boom. Boom. Awesome. Whoa. Holy cow. Holy cow. Maybe I'll just stick with that for now. Or just actually take all of these because I kind of want to, I got to animate the shapes in the end, so I don't really have a choice. Extract. Golly, it's going to be a lot of layers. Golly, I messed up. I done messed up. Okay. And scene 5. Boom. Okay, so that'll do. That we can work with that. We can work with that. I have no more coffee. That's good, but I thought I was gonna be able to do more stuff than just this, but that'll definitely work. Okay, so starting with this one, I want to. Oh, Momo. By the way, this is for you, Momo. This is cat number 1. System specifications, like of my Mac. It's and I can pull it up. Apple.com. I have the Mac Studio M1, and it has. Let's see. I need the M1. I don't have the M2. I have the M1. I don't know if you can pick in here. But essentially I have the M1 with 64 gigs. I should have it somewhere. Hold on. I don't want to leak my serial number. I don't know what you guys can do with a serial number, but I'll pull it out real quick. Just give me a second. Apple M1 Max, 64 gigabytes. And 1 terabyte of SSD. And I think that's the gist of it anyways. Okay. Boom. Yeah, Momo, they always do, man. They always do. They always find some way to be something crazy. But yeah, so anyways, that's what I'm working on. And then I think it's actually in the description as well. Now that I think about it. Kinda. And then I just have a 27-inch monitor, and that's all I'm running on. Camera, Sony camera, and microphone. And a light. Okay, so I want to do a text animation, and I want to do something with echo. Because essentially what I want to do, but first I kind of want to animate the shapes a little bit. So let's do path, keyframe, all of them, boom, and go like right up until scene 2. And we can do right up until scene 2. And then just mess with them. Kaval, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm very happy for the kind words. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's like the most important thing that I could be told is just enjoying the channel, learning something, you know. Means a lot, man. At the end of the day, my goal is just to teach people After Effects and make sure that people have fun doing that. I don't know what I'm actually doing here, so this is very much just a trial and error kind of thing. So bear with me. And this one, that's the orange one. What is it? See, this is why if you want to be good, you should name your layers and don't be like me. Because I'm a bad example. Horrible, actually. You know, I think I would love that as well, but I would kind of be scared if it blew up just out of nowhere, just because I'd be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a little bit too intimidating almost. So I don't know. As much as I'd love it, it would terrify me. Let me just extend this all the way down. We need something to be... We need the black to land before. Maybe reverse this. No, because we need it to end that way. That's how I want it to end. But let's select it all. And boom. Ron, that is a good... I guess it kind of depends on what you want to do. I think yes, as long as you have enough RAM. That seems to be the biggest thing, especially with Macs, because you can't upgrade the RAM. You can always add SSDs, but like most of the M1, M2 stuff will be plenty good enough. And then just make sure you have... I would say at this point, you could get by with 16, but really you at least want 32. You know what I mean? So I would make sure you got that. Oh, goodness. Samal, I'm just going to keep it to that because it's the easiest one. Yes, the stream will be public. I'll put them in a playlist, and then they can be watched at any time just because there might be some good... Well, there will be good conversations. So, yes. It'll be public. It'll be able to watch, and the chat should be there as well, so you guys can follow along if you rewatch the stream. What's up, Sky? Yeah, Momo, that's a GG's, man. That could not be me. But if you look at it from the bright side, I will be replaced by AI eventually, and you will be the one that will replace me with that AI. So, you know, there's good and bad to it all. So, you know, you just gotta be positive about it, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's just how it goes. Recommendations for a camera. Oh, now you're getting me in my zone, because I'm gonna be looking at cameras for the next 10 days, and you reminded me which cameras I want, so that's great. But there's a couple things to keep in mind. What are you making, and like photo or video or both? You could do everything. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. But essentially, for a beginner camera, if you want to do video, I'd recommend probably the FX30, just because it's the FX3 but cheaper and great for video. If you want to do photo, I myself have been eyeing the Fuji X100V. I don't know how cheap it is, but it's super good, and they have the recipes. Well, Fuji has recipes that make it super easy to. You don't even have to worry about editing your photos. It just looks great straight out the. Can't cuss on stream. This guy, you almost got me. But yeah. So it kind of depends. But so yeah, I guess it just whatever you want to do, just make sure that it's like it fits the right thing. I know Sky just got the ZVE1, which is great for both and very vlogger friendly, or like not vlogger, but like it has a flip out screen and stuff like that. But yeah, like see what the price is of that. Like, okay, at that point, if you just want to do video or even just like slight photo, I just get the FX30 just because it's nice. You get lenses, whatever you want. I personally use the Sony a7 III, but I would love something that has 10-bit color. So that's my, like, sometimes when I'm grading, I'm just like, I just wish I had 10-bit color. But it works great for YouTube, and as long as you know your camera, you can get around it. But yeah, I'd probably recommend the FX30 for anyone just starting out and just want to mess about. Yeah. And secondhand, you can get them even cheaper. So I know, what's that one? Is it KHB? No. MBP? They have, I've seen YouTubers do ads for this, but they have like secondhand stuff. And I don't know I think B&H has a secondhand stuff too, maybe? I don't know. But yeah. XS10. That sounds like a Fuji camera. Yeah. Yeah. 26 megapixels, all that, you know. Most cameras you can't go wrong. As long as you like get comfortable with that camera, you're good to go. Yeah. So, okay, Ron, that's a twofold question, because that entails laptop versus stationary and also RAM. So I think I'd pick more RAM, just because it's always, I'd rather have that little bit of extra oomph for the sake of future, and also just working. Like, if you work in 4K comps, you're going to need the RAM. But because when I got mine as well, I was between basically the MacBook Pro version of this, because it was more expensive, but you can take it wherever you want. You get a good display, you get a mouse, you get not a mouse, you get a trackpad and a keyboard. And I was working off a laptop anyway, so I was super comfortable with that workflow. With the Mac Studio, I had to go out and get a mouse, I had to get a keyboard, I had to get a monitor, I had to get speakers, everything pretty much. So the price was still ended up being kind of similar depending on what you get. But the main thing that made me choose the Mac Studio is I am a workaholic to a certain extent. So if I have a project and I used to do this all the time. Like I'd be sitting on the couch with my wife and we'd be watching a TV show or whatever, and I would be sitting on my laptop still doing work on After Effects, and I was like that's just not fair. And it also like I needed to set a boundary for myself, so I went with the stationary, the Mac Studio, because I can only work when I'm at my desk, and then I can't even think about, okay, I can just bring my laptop up to a family event and just work at night or whatever. So yeah. Enjoy your food, Sky, and I'll need that luck because I don't know what in the world I'm doing. Still no coffee. I don't know why I'm even bringing that up. But yeah, so yeah, so that's I just needed that boundary, so that's why I decided to go with that. I feel like the orange should be doing something also. Which one is the orange? Is that at the very? Oh, it's this one. Okay, orange, what are you doing? Oh, goodness. And blue. I need you to maybe start out a little higher. And extend you just a little bit and put you back. Put you back. And then the orange. And I also think, but just to go back to the cameras, because I can't help myself, you want to make sure you get a good lens, because lenses are like 95% of the end product. So just make sure of that. Anyways, that's. Maybe we can just actually, what if because we haven't done nothing with this one, I can just pow, boom, fixed it. What? And then just take these and time reverse them. And gap 1 was not fixed. Just move it out here. What the hell does it even matter? You gotta, to visualize the animations that you're doing, you gotta make the sound effects. Like I don't even know how, like I've realized I do it throughout tutorials as well. I will just like to explain something that I'm doing, I will make sound effects as if that helps anyone other than myself, of course. Actually, there is no point in even animating the red one. So, boom, just call it a day. And I'm just going to be cheeky right here so I can better see what I'm doing, because every good person in the world uses pressurized time, and that is a fact. Okay, now we have an issue is I need to transition this. So the question is, do I want to maybe if I start it right there. No. Not this one. This one. No. Go Go back. This one. That already looks better. I do still wanna, still gotta figure out how I gotta transition to that. But let's work on this anyways. So I think I want the groove to animate in text properties, position, boom, and rename that one to position, and this one to scale. Nope. This one to scale, and rename this to scale. Okay, so let's say I want it to end right here. The first one, I want it to kind of, and actually let's add a tracking and a rotate. Well, I guess I don't need a tracking, but I do want a rotation on that as well. And I'm gonna add rotation, a wiggly selector, maybe 0, 0, like that, just to get some of that random movement. Okay, and then let's go forward to 1 second for now, and I want to meet in the middle. So keyframe those, open this up, and these all simultaneous. Just go to 0 and keyframe the end. No, okay, 50 and 50. Oh, hold on. Okay, I'll take that back. We're just going to keyframe the scale just for the sake of my life. And we'll just set that to 100. And the position, you want it to come down, 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 down. And I want to do this the opposite way. Actually, what if we do a 50-50 again? Yeah, let's do that. File. 50 and 50. Perfect. And set this one to 0. And let me just hit U on this. And set that one to 100 and that one to 100. And sexy speed it. And okay, so I don't like that like at all. That looked awful. And I think it's mainly the position that I'm not digging whatsoever. So we're just gonna undo that. Just undo that. Let's just do that. Let's just, for the good sake of sanity. Way too fast. Okay, let's see what we're working with here. I'm just gonna ditch the position altogether. Well, gee, I have some jazz layout, but I'm working on a loop, and I don't want to go back and forth all the time. So I'm just, I'm easing, but since you asked, you can have some jazz that I've been listening to. Okay, back to this. And good tip, inertial bounce. I'm just gonna sauce it up a little. Why is inertial bounce? Please, please. Close that. Copy and paste it into my scale. And I think we can speed this back up. Very interesting. Whoa, that was crazy. Holy cow. I might just yeah, I think 32 will be enough. I don't think you'll be regretting it, at least for the next couple of years. But just at least from my experience, I can say that RAM is always good to have, and it's one thing you can't upgrade on a Mac. So I'm always like, if you can afford it, I'd get it. But they are some insane machines, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. What's up, Frostbite Jax? I like that name. It's a cool name. One course, I haven't taken any courses, so I couldn't really tell you, but I would recommend. I've heard a lot of good stuff about. School in Motion, so maybe that's what I would recommend. School of Motion, sorry. I've heard a lot of good stuff. I think the best thing you can do when you are looking for courses is finding something super specific and then doing that. So like one that focuses specifically on type animations or something of that sort, if that makes sense. I haven't actually looked into any courses. I've never taken a course. I've just done YouTube videos. I just do like, if I need something, I just find a YouTube video for it, if that makes sense. So that's kind of just like the way I've been learning stuff. Okay. And then for this, let's see, like, School of Motion. I think there's good free one. There's probably some good free ones on YouTube as well. But let's look at some of this. I know Ben Merritt has one. Sky Mography, who was in here just a minute ago, they had a course where you had some, but that was like an overall YouTube course where they had some animation, some video stuff. But I don't know if they're doing another one of those. But like, once you get like something, maybe like one of these like boot camps, beginner's guide to motion design, and this one is even free. So that's a great place to start. Great place to start, probably. Animation boot camp. But yeah, just like going in for specific stuff like expressions. Like, this is probably very technical, but once you've done like the basics of After Effects, once you're comfortable in like animating parameters and all that stuff, then I think you can go into something like that, if that makes sense. We have to test something, and that is echo. Let's do 50 for this one. Composite and back. Composite and back. Yeah, you can give me just a little bit more sauce on that. Boom. Okay. And let's do feel. What do I want to do for this one? Maybe a position with a wiggly selector. Probably, maybe. Do like feel the. Put that to 0. Put that to 0 as well. Ooh, that one. That one right there looks nice. But Frostbite, hopefully that helps. And also, same to you, Ron. In terms of picking your next. Ramp down. Let's go a little bit crazy on this. Why is that so ticky-tacky is my question. God, I love text animators, but sometimes I hate them. Whoa. Okay. Let's just do that. Using the offset. That will work. And boom. Does that do anything? I don't think so. Maybe if we did it with the position instead. So keyframe the position, set it to the, and just set that to 0. Maybe even like that. Oh yeah. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Thank you, Jax. I don't think many people watch that one, but if you like books, it's definitely a good one to watch. And I do enjoy reading from time to time. There's a lot of stuff you can learn from various books, and good inspiration as well, instead of sitting and looking at a computer screen all day like we tend to do in this field anyways. I'm definitely not going to be able to finish this because I want to get off in like 20 minutes, but we should be able to get somewhere. And actually, let me just boom. What a bang. Oh goodness, there's a fly. And for this one, we're just going to do a scale with the text properties as well. And just a scale, just a simple little scale. And do 0. And I'm actually gonna, I don't know how common knowledge this is, because I didn't even know it for the longest time. But, where's it at? More options. And then, path up. More options. Oh yeah, okay. So I'm going to zoom in here and anchor point grouping, and I'm just going to, you can see these little red dots, which essentially determines the anchor point of each letter, like where it animates with the text parameter. So I'm just going to set that to middle, and then our text will animate from the middle instead of the bottom when you use animator like that. So that's good, neat little trick. You can never go wrong with knowing too many tricks. Whoopsie daisies. Okay. Let's see here. Let me just drop that to like third. Cause streaming and everything at once, I don't know how well that grooves together. I did. We had a little bit of conversation. I reached out to him and we started talking about he was wanting some stuff, and I've just been too busy. Like we had a little bit of back and forth, and then I didn't get a reply for a while, so I just thought like whatever, like wasn't grooving or whatever. So I followed back up, after a little bit of time, just gotta give people time, and he got back to me, and then I just didn't have time. I just didn't have time to do that thing because I was busy with client work. At the end of the day, money pays the bills, and that's what you got to do first. So that's what that is. But whenever I do have the time, hopefully here after the summer break, I'll get back to that. But yeah, so we talked a little bit, but yeah, all the years I've watched his content for so long, so it was cool even that he saw it and then he liked it. You know what I mean? Like the internet is a crazy place. Who would have ever thought? Yes, Toby, if you have anything, feel free. I'm still going to be on for at least 20 minutes. And then my weekend starts. Okay, so from here, I want to transition into... What's up, Freaky? Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And I hope you're doing well. And weekend will be starting soon, at least for me anyways, hopefully for you as well. I hope you get to enjoy that soon. The live stream will be public to view afterwards, so no worries. You can always go back and watch if you're interested in anything that happened, and live chat will be there as well, I think, if I set it up correctly. Okay. So I think what I want to do here is transition into this by... I'm just going to take... I guess I don't really need... When is that? Let's see, scene 2 until that blue one. I'm going to have to move you to the top. And then just boom all the way up. Bet Toby, if you send an email, just let me know. I don't think I get notifications from it, so you just have to let me know kind of how that grooves. And then let's just go in here, and then I just want it to go like that. And you can up that just a little bit. Just for that, some of that smoothness. Okay, so okay. I will have a look. Just give me 1 second. I'm all over the place. And there's that. Boom. Okay. First 15 to 20 seconds. Hold up. And let me switch over. Okay. Okay, so we have... I can see the vision. Okay, I'm watching it. Okay. Okay, couple things here. For this beginning one, I guess I don't know. It looks like you have an overlay, like a black solid, and then you've just decreased the opacity. I would just let it rock without that, just so you get those colors, because I think it would look very cool with that. And I like to posterize just to get some of that look and the texture that you've used. This animation here, where it goes out is a little too static. I would just ease the keyframes a little more, and then I don't know what. I guess it's just like an opacity thing. But I mean, overall it looks fine. But yeah, I'll just ease the keyframes a little more so it comes out like starts slow and then picks up. So like, nothing too crazy. It's very minor. I like the background, and the same with the out, and then just a lot of the some of the keyframing looks linear, if that makes sense. So just working with the easing and the timing, like those from this to the fire icon, make it like a smoother like transition, so there's not that waiting time. And then again, with it scaling down, easing the keyframes and adding some more velocity to it, and then have it when you scale it down, before it finishes to scale down, already have it moving out to the left, so it feels more like a fluid motion rather than one animation and then the next animation. And then inertial bounce would probably work very good in this case as well, just to give it that little bit more movement. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I like the background a lot and the texture in the back as well. So I think that's pretty good. No, I guess, is that just the texture that's making it look dark? Is that what that is? What I mean, I've always just made videos and posted them. Like, I was like 12 when I got my first laptop at like 13 years old. I used to make videos with the webcam on a green screen, and I would make like weird videos being a weird little kid. Like, I've always just enjoyed it. And I don't mind being a public face. I think I've always been a very a carefree person, if that makes sense. Like, I don't, like, it's not meant to sound super braggy, but like, I just don't care what anyone really thinks. So it's like I'm just gonna make whatever I want to make. My main insecurity in making the videos was I wasn't very confident in my skill and what I was doing. So I didn't want to make After Effects tutorials and then be bad at After Effects. Like, I wanted to be able to bring some value. So it took me a while to actually make a tutorial. But I've always made videos. Like, I've just enjoyed making videos, and I don't even really see much of a brand. Like, it's super cool to have all these videos, but I just like making stuff just because, you know what I mean? Like, I just enjoy making videos, so that's just what I've been doing. And I wish I would have taken it more serious earlier, but like, I have a lot of like I've done everything. Like, I've done challenge videos with my siblings, which is, you know, it's something. But yeah, so it wasn't a conscious decision. It was just like, I really enjoy doing this. I'm at a point where I feel confident in my abilities in After Effects, and I just want to give it a go, because why not? You know, I'm making stuff anyways. I might as well just, you know, teach people, because I've had people on YouTube teach me. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess to a certain extent it felt like imposter syndrome, but I think yeah, I guess what even is the full definition of imposter syndrome? Yeah, I mean, I get, yeah, to a certain extent. Like, I guess I didn't feel like I was a fraud, or like I didn't deserve like whatever I got. I just felt like I needed to be better at what I do before I started teaching people doing it, because I don't want to be, it's like if you get a really bad, well, at least in Europe, we have driver's teachers. So when you take your driver's license, you have a teacher. I didn't want to be somebody who couldn't drive and teach somebody how to drive. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. Yeah, so Toby, inertial bounce the expression, you can literally just copy and paste it, and it'll improve like a lot of the stuff. It works in certain scenarios. Like, I can put it in the chat, I think. Boom. Like that. So there's a couple good expressions in there. But yeah, the inertial bounce, I just used it in this as well. Like, where you go? Like, I just used it in these as well. Like these, where it's red, I just used the inertial bounce, and it just gives it a little bit of oomph. Just a little bit of bounce into place. Just adds a nice little movement, and it's way easier than animating bounces by yourself. But yeah, I love the color scheme. I love the posterize effect on the gradients as well to give it that layered look. And yeah, the texture looks good. I would just mess around with the blending modes to, yeah, that's really all I had. Otherwise, it was pretty good. Just working on the easing of the keyframe, which takes time. It's not easy. But yeah, like here, for example, in the one I made here, like we have 2 textures here that I just looped. And don't be afraid to add curves to your textures and mess around with it. Like, just, you know, it felt a little too dark, so I just added some curves in this one. You know, it's just adding just a tiny bit of detail, you know what I mean? Just messing around until it feels right. I appreciate that, Monte. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you stopped by and you've been enjoying it. And what a small world. And how does stuff like that just happen? That's crazy. Sadiq, I have M1 Max with 64 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of SSD. So fairly beefy, at least beefy enough for me anyways. Do you mean like just like animating? I would definitely animate the textures. I mean, you can rarely go wrong with animated textures. Like, it just adds that tiny little bit of movement, which, you know, you can't go wrong with that. So I wouldn't shy away from doing that. Let's see. And I just want to copy this and put it in here so I have a little guide for where I want my text to come up. And I think I am just gonna close all of this. I don't want to see none of this. Add a null, and I'm just using the void plugin because it's nice. And I'm just gonna name this text controller and animate the position. So I don't care to separate these, honestly. Keyframe that and then just move that, and then okay. Whoa. Oh goodness. Turn off the echo real quick. I gotta turn off the echo. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Okay. Now we can line it up better. And line it up. Just like that. Easy peasy. Make a Discord server. Maddie, in all honesty, probably would be pretty cool, honestly. It's not something I've thought about, but it definitely could be pretty sick. Maybe down the line. I have no aspirations as of right now, but that's not to say it will never happen. That is not. Whoa, that is not what I wanted to do at all. And then maybe just get a little bit of funk in there. Just a little bit of funkiness. And we can turn the echo back on for these, just to see what it'll look like. And go back into our composition and reduce that. What would, if I can ask a question back, what would the Discord be? What would we do in the Discord? I can delete that. Probably should have done that. You're welcome, Sadiq. Ooh, maybe that is just a little bit too hot. Actually, I'm digging that. And with that being said, that is gonna be the end of the stream, because I have other stuff I gotta do, and it's almost weekend, so that's a fun time. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who was here, and if you're just tuning in now, this will be public later, whenever YouTube does that. I don't know, but yeah, Maddie, that is honestly a pretty sick idea. I'll have to look into that and see if I can make something that's pretty cool. I know there's so many people with Discords. I don't want to make one just to make one, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely want to make sure it's good and it's solid. But yeah, I appreciate that suggestion. I'll have to look into it, see if we can make something nice, because that could be cool, like a place where you can just get good feedback and, you know, some community sense. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna head off. And I enjoyed talking to you guys, and yeah, it's just been a pleasure. And for next time, if you have anything you want feedback on or anything you want me to watch, break down really quick, send it to the mapalslivestream@gmail.com, and I'll have a look at it on Fridays. I'll be back here probably next week. And yeah, so thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.